Yeah, sure. We had to cut our earnings estimates. We did lower our earnings estimates ahead of the release today, but we didn't lower them enough. And on both the top line and gross margin, the gross margin outlook was tempered a bit. The SG&A guidance was also taken up. So ultimately, our earnings estimates came down. We kept our valuation multiple the same, which was 39 times fiscal 23 expected earnings, and that takes us to that $180 price target. So about a 10% cut to our estimates for next year.
How does Nike as an investment compare to some others in its, as in like compared to its peers in the sector?
Nike's the leader in global sport, and I think ultimately when the Vietnam supply chain comes back, you'll see a real snapback in supply. The demand is there; they just can't fulfill it for the coming their fiscal second quarter, and then the third quarter, which really correlates to holiday. But I do think there isn't a demand problem here; it's really just supply. The biggest concern we have is the China exposure. Business has been more volatile in China. The rhetoric between the U.S. government and the Chinese government has escalated. It'll probably continue to escalate. That could fuel changes in consumer perception in China towards Western brands, and that's probably a bigger long-term issue that we're watching, given that China revenue only grew 1% in Nike's first quarter.
Are there any mitigating factors to that? Like, is there any other part of the world that has the potential to make up for any lost sales in China over the longer term?
Well, China is roughly 20% of sales right now for Nike. North America is around 40. But China is viewed as a much bigger TAM over time. So you could ultimately see revenues out. I think the bulls on Nike could think that China revenues at some point in China would be as big as North America. And guidance for Nike is for low double digit to low teen sales in China over the long term. We do think that's achievable, but there's likely a lot more volatility over the next 5 years, given the back and forth between the two governments.